everyone, and welcome back to the Restaurant Operator Podcast. I am joined by Chris Ruff, who is the CEO of Glympse, and today we're going to be talking about how to make money with food trucks. Great to have you on, Chris.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So just to get real started, let's give a broad overview. Can you give us a quick summary of your business background and what led you to Glympse?
Yeah, so I've been in tech for all of my career. Started in tech sales, but eventually have developed a career in all parts of the business. Prior to Glympse, I ran a company that was in the automotive space. We built technology for connected cars, allowing sort of internet-connected apps to work inside the car, like iHeartRadio and apps like that. And before that, I was in the early days of mobile apps on some of the original flip phones, way back in the early 2000s. So all of that sort of led me to Glympse about 6 years ago.
Right. So you've definitely seen how technology has grown over the past couple of years, going from mobile apps on flip phones to today. So that's really interesting. So what led Glympse to become interested in targeting the food industry particularly?
Well, Glympse has been around since 2008. The original vision of Glympse, which still exists today in our consumer mobile app, was about sharing information, sharing your location temporarily with friends, colleagues, family, things like that. Back in 2008, we were a pioneer in doing this, and really the first of our type on the iPhone and early Android devices. Over the years, we've built out a business that helps enterprises and other companies share location with their customers. And through that, we sort of evolved our mobile app experience on the consumer app side to allow for a business like a food truck to temporarily share their location. Let's say one day they're parked at a park, the next day they're at a shopping mall. It's a way for them to build a community around their customers and always give a temporary sort of view of where they're positioned for that day and to serve those customers.
Sure. And so what can Glympse provide that others cannot, in your opinion? Other companies provide similar location sharing services.
Yeah, I think what makes Glympse unique is the user of Glympse, the food truck in this case, has complete control of how long they share. A lot of times, the apps that currently exist, you've got a couple of choices, all the time or an hour. Right. And with Glympse, you can set it for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever your session is. You don't have to remember to turn it off. And the app will just stop sharing when the time is up. The other thing that makes Glympse unique is the receiver of the Glympse doesn't actually need to have a mobile app. So if your customers, we all know there's hundreds and hundreds of applications, and not everybody may want to download the Glympse app. But for a food truck operator, if they send out, let's say, their link on a social media channel, and a user clicks it and they don't have Glympse, it simply opens in their browser. And they get still the full experience of being able to see where that truck is and how far it is to get there.
That's very useful, especially because of just the sheer amount of mobile apps out there and the sheer amount of people who want you to add their mobile app. Definitely gets a lot of clutter in people's cell phones. So if you could share one of the best success stories with the client, what would it be? Like, what was the outcome, and what did Glympse learn from that experience?
Well, we've, especially in the food truck space and these other spaces, we're pretty new. The outcomes have not been as many as we'd like at this point. However, Glympse has been helping businesses temporary share location. One of the biggest benefits people get is today people don't like to make phone calls, or they don't want to have to do other channels to find out how things are going. And with Glympse, it's super simple to just get a notification, and then you get the full experience of what this is. So most of our customers see increased sales, they see higher productivity from their employees, they definitely see lower costs. And we believe even in the small number of use cases we've had in the food truck space, they've seen a lift today in revenues because they're able to broadcast that location, and that link becomes synonymous with their brand. It's just like owning a URL, right?
Sure.
The link never changes. You don't have to. You're not wasting your marketing dollars investing in a communication path that is going to go away, just like the homepage of your website.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent point. So, looking ahead to profits. So, food trucks are a very difficult business, and making profits is obviously a very big concern. It's the top concern. So, what are some key strategies for generating profit as a food truck?
Yeah, I
Because
think.
especially there's so much like money you have to put down initially.
Yeah.
So, it'd be
And
difficult.
I think what makes food trucks and that business special is its flexibility, right?
Hmm.
It is sort of capital intensive up front that you have to build the truck out, but I've even heard the more complicated, expensive part is sometimes getting through permitting in different
Right.
parts of the country, right? That actually
Hmm.
building and operating a truck is the easy part. Some cities require commissary food to be reheated, and it can be very complicated, right?
Right.
So I think what's most important for a food truck, or frankly for any business today, it's building loyalty with your customers. It's
Mhm.
all about repeat businesses and those customers saying positive things with you on Yelp, saying positive things with you on Google, and then having them be able to find you. Right, a lot of food trucks don't have the luxury of being able to lease or stay in a single space all of the time, or maybe it's
Mhm.
not even good for their business, right? Because they want to move around. And so having this ability to help your customers find you wherever you're at increases utilization because it's really about creating that demand and that loyalty with your customer
Right.
base.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Especially just that repeat customers, those reviews are huge for a small restaurant, or small business, or food truck like that. So, obviously, you mentioned permits being a big deal. There are a lot of times in cities going to be changing regulations, economic uncertainties. How do you think food trucks can maintain those profit margins in difficult circumstances?
Well, I think the good part about the food truck business is, I mentioned the flexibility, but it gives you the ability to sort of manage supply, demand, and labor pretty carefully,
Hmm.
right? If
Sure.
you own a physical retail location, right,
Hmm.
you're paying rent all the time.
Right.
So to some extent, rent becomes your floor for profitability, right? If economic uncertainty hits, like that's back when the pandemic hit, and
Hmm.
restaurants weren't able to operate, they still had this rent cost going month after month after month. In the food truck business, it's much more flexible in the way
Hmm.
that they can operate it, both at high scale or even in times cut costs to maintain profitability. It makes it better, but over time, it's the cream rises to the top of these businesses, and the entrepreneurs who use the best technology, who create the best product, which is their food,
Hmm.
and what they supply, create value for their customers in giving them a good deal for the money that they're given. They tend to rise to the top, and in every business, that's the best way to succeed. Build trust, build loyalty. Your customers will come back.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent point. So I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about privacy. So, location tracking, the biggest concern is privacy.
Yep.
So, what makes privacy important to location tracking?
So, location tracking and GPS technology is important because it's where you're at, right? If you look at private data, um, a lot of private data, there's the two sides of it. One is the stuff like social security numbers and things like that, and that has financial implications. Maybe HIPAA data related to your healthcare that has
Hmm.
implication, and then there's location data, which is paramount to where you are at that moment at any time.
Hmm.
And so we take it incredibly serious here. And in fact, don't store people's personal location more than a couple of days, uh,
Hmm.
just to validate our systems and things like that. We don't keep a record of it. We don't sell data. We don't do anything like that, which
Hmm.
means we're here to really just provide value to our customers and allow them to control who sees their data and for how long. And in that way, I think we can be good stewards of their data.
Sure.
Glympse is unique in this way. Most of our competition, you mentioned other technologies early on, other apps that we might compete with. Many of those companies, including Google, have business models that conflict with privacy, right?
Right.
They actually need customer data to generate value for advertisers and things like that. And Glimpse doesn't do that. We only make money off of subscriptions or on our enterprise side off of licensing our platform. And so we provide value, our customers get value, and we over the history of the company have never sold data, and we never will.
Sure. What would you say business owners can do to protect their location data?
Well, one way is not share location at all, but then it defeats
right,
the
certainly.
Right? I mean, that's technology is always a double-edged sword, right?
Exactly.
If you don't want people to know about you, don't go on the internet, right? So that's kind of unreasonable. So I think it's working with providers who understand the value of that data and go out of their way to protect it for them.
Right. And lastly, I want to talk about what location features are really important for business owners to succeed in today's industry. Like, what's really the most important features?
Well, I mean, for what we're seeing in the market is people like to be able to visualize that location on a map. They like to be able to route plan and navigate to somewhere. For non-food trucks, let's say for delivery businesses, we provide ETA of locations. So if you're waiting at home for a pizza, you can, like Uber, see that the driver's 20 minutes away. You don't have to wonder if they're on their way, if the pizza's ready.
Sure.
So all of those features around time and place is what makes location powerful for customers. But the biggest thing about our solution for the food truck industry is that it allows for the companies to have a permanent address. Right? So a truck is mobile and can be somewhere different every day of the week.
Exactly.
But in our case, we provide them a physical address through technology where their loyal customers at any time can click that link and see where they're serving today. And that's powerful because their advantage of a physical restaurant is place, right? You can go down to that sandwich shop and get that sandwich.
Certainly.
If you're loyal to a macaroni and cheese food truck, where are they today? I'm craving macaroni and cheese, right? And now they have a physical location distributed through a virtual location share.
Right.
And we think that's what the powerful value add here is, and how food trucks can increase sales. They can increase how often their customers actually show up at their truck. Maybe they show up once a month. Now we get them to twice a month or once a week. All of these things help create volume and demand, which can increase the top line. And that's where profits come from. Most operators manage their food costs pretty well. Grow the top line, you grow the bottom line almost disproportionately.
Right. And can you add, lastly, what features specifically does Glympse implement?
So we provide an end-to-end solution. First of all, we have the mobile app that the food truck can use. It's simple to use. We launched that app back in 2008 as the founding of the company. It's got millions of users, so it's proven technology. We've developed a platform for sharing that location out. And allowing that standard URL that I'm talking about to live forever for that customer. We give them the tools for turning location on and off. We give them the ability to brand their experience. So when a customer clicks that link, they don't see the Glympse blue branding. They're able to see a brand and awareness for that very specific food truck. We also allow them to create a mobile ad within the experience, which they can then link off to their web page, their social media pages, whatever they want to do with it. So it becomes really a day of service tool for the food truck operator to manage their brand and allow their customers to find them where they're at when their customers want them.
Excellent. Yes, that's some really great information. I really like just how the location data can be integrated and the way they can turn it on and off whenever they feel like it. So is there any closing thoughts you'd like to add for our listeners today?
Yeah, I mean, the whole market's gotten competitive. As we all know, I think the economy, though, has been pretty strong the last couple of years. There's a sense of consumer headwinds because of inflation and because of higher costs of things, and I I pay some attention to the stock market and see that a lot of restaurants and places are having some challenges. We think the best operators always rise to the top. And we fundamentally believe that the companies that use technology, which proves out in our day-to-day life, companies like Chipotle and Chick-fil-A, and those are succeeding where others are not. And it has a lot to do with the kind of digital experiences they provide to make it convenient. And for food trucks, sharing location and proximity so that your address is with you no matter where you're at, and your customers can find you. That, we believe, is a key way to differentiate, build loyalty, and overall win, even when times are tough, because the best operators always win.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a great place to end. I want to thank Chris for joining us. Thank you for sharing us today about Glympse and about how to build profits with food trucks. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.